Guess which fan base we're making upset today?
Star Trek fans.
Battlestar Galactica fans.
Get ready to rage in the comments, nerds.
I put you away.
What do you think, BB-8?
That's scrap, actually.
Oh. BB-8 wannabe.
Well, that's just rude. He's off right now, or I'd make him beep. So, Sybil and I went on our honeymoon to Disney, and during that, I watched most of the Star Wars movies.
And a Goofy movie.
Which
we reviewed that. And since you got the Star Wars all fresh in your brain, we're doing a Star Wars movie review.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Star Wars, in the short history of our channel, we've had quite a history with Star Wars already.
Yeah, and I'm not stopping that train. We're going to continue the trend today. I'm going to upset some of y'all. For sure. And I feel extremely justified in doing so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think
Very
we
justified.
I don't think we got a lot of hate on our Rise of Skywalker one because that was one of our first ones.
Right. And everyone was like, yeah, you're right. This movie's garbage.
Well, I don't think a lot of people saw it, I think is what. Not enough people saw it to get mad at it. But when we got onto the YouTube and put it out there that The Last Jedi was good, people freaked the heck out.
Which, that was another one that I rewatched while I was gone.
Bro, I literally, before I came over here, I kind of rewatched. Guys, we're reviewing. If you saw, you clicked on the video. We're doing A New Hope. We're doing episode 4.
Yeah,
and
the OG, 1977.
Yeah, even before my time.
Yeah. Surprisingly,
I know,
rare these days.
We talk about a movie that's older than me. Actually, we did 12 Angry Men, which is older than the both of us by a lot.
Yeah, probably combined too.
Yeah. And so I actually literally rewatched. I skipped a little bit ahead, but watched towards middle to the end of A New Hope. And then, on Disney Plus, it says, recommended, here's other Star Wars things. I saw The Last Jedi sitting over there in the corner, and I just clicked on over and started watching The Last Jedi. Because it's literally actually good. So
what are your first impressions of...
Well, let's not get to that.
A New Hope?
Let's introduce our viewers to the channel.
Right.
You do it this time, though.
Welcome back, you guys, full-time film people. Today we're going to be talking about Star Wars.
Who are you?
And this is Jarvis.
That's me.
So let's get into it.
First impression.
What are your first impressions of Star Wars: A New Hope?
Golly, see, this is one of those ones that I saw for the first time so long ago. I don't know that I could accurately give you.
Yeah, same here. I don't know if I mean,
how about this? We just do our most recent impressions.
We could do recent impressions.
My most recent impressions, which is literally like yesterday and today, or no, maybe last weekend, and some of today. Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, for it being as old as it is, I still enjoyed it. Like obviously, like the visuals are dated, but the fact that if you looked into how they did the visuals back then, it's all practical because that's all they could do.
All practical.
So a lot of the stuff actually still looks really good because it's real.
Because practical is the best.
Yeah.
Practical is way better than any other thing.
I know some of the backgrounds were paintings. I know some of that.
It's still practically shot.
Yeah. It's so good. I mean, I think they did that. So I know that in some of the scenes in the Death Star or where all the stormtroopers are, that they were painted, like it was a painted thing. I think they literally did that in Dune as well. I think they used that technique in Dune. I don't know if it was the first one or the second one.
Yeah.
They literally did. It was like the background was literally just a painting.
I mean, if you want to get to like a more modern version of that, that's still not CG, technically CG, is that all of The Mandalorian was shot on basically like a stage with a big
yeah.
ol' projection screen in the back.
That's definitely the more modern version, but it's cool because it gives them, and they're acting against something they can see.
Yeah,
so that's much better.
That's the cool thing.
Better than green screens and stuff. But I gotta say, to me, because this is different than, so we literally just recorded our Ghost in the Shell episode right before this one, and this is also an original like movie and idea, kind of. I mean, he pulled from religions and stuff like that.
It's Space Hamlet.
Yeah, he had his inspirations, but like
Space Spear.
This is one of those movies that like literally changed. It is a part of our culture in America. Like,
yeah,
I mean, there's so many things that pop culture references. I mean, lightsabers. I mean, even Rick and Morty had the lightsaber episode where he got a lightsaber for Christmas and dropped it face down and it was going through the earth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so deep into our culture in America, I think. But this was the first one. This is the one that started it all.
Yep.
And I gotta say, dude, it still holds up, and it is still such a good movie. This movie makes me wonder why the dialogue in episodes 1 through 3 were so bad.
I have answers to that question.
You do. So maybe we'll get to that. Yeah?
Yeah, we will.
Okay. Because I feel like it was great. I feel like it was really good. The story was good. The dialogue made sense. Wasn't crazy. The bad guy was James Earl Jones. Oh, rest in peace. We just lost him recently.
You can tell that Jarvis is getting a little anxious that I'm not nodding my head over here.
No, I just got sad.
And sad about it, James Earl Jones.
Yeah. That king, rest in peace. He was Mufasa. Yeah. He voice acted a lot of stuff.
Yeah, thank you for
you
redubbing somebody else's part.
Dude,
for Star Wars and then making it iconic.
He is Vader. You know what I mean? Like, you look at a lot of voice actors' performances.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill, who is also in Star Wars. Like, when I think about the Joker, I think about Mark Hamill from the Batman the Animated Series. Mm-hmm. That's what I think of. Same with Batman what's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
No. In the Batman the Animated Series. Oh, God. You got DC fans, please.
Ben Affleck.
No. Stop it. Stop. You're doing that on purpose.
George Clooney.
No. Anyways, he's
from The Flash.
He's the one and only Batman.
You like to smile every time.
So, yeah. James Earl Jones, you will be missed. You were the best villain. One of the best villains ever created, I think. Darth Vader.
Oh, okay. He's shaking his head at me.
Yeah. Did you see Rogue One? The movie was only good because of the scene at the end with Vader.
I did not. Go ahead. Get angry. Get angry at me in the comments. Go for it.
You didn't see a Rogue One?
No, we started watching it, and that was the day that we walked 10 miles in Epcot in the 95-degree heat, so I passed out like 20 minutes in.
Oh, Rogue One is great. And Vader, I think, is one of the coolest bad guys ever. He was my screensaver for a while.
Vader is very cool. That is undeniable. The Vader is very cool.
The original red lightsaber, crazy. So good. Iconic voice, James Earl Jones. But rewatching it, loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Always have, always will. It's one of the... It's an iconic movie. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Great.
I won't say another word for the rest of the review.
Oh, okay. Welcome to Full-Time Michael Fans. That's a different website. So my first impressions came from when I was playing Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy. And that's where I learned most of what the first 3 movies were about. Because I love that game.
That's not a bad way
I
to
love that
learn.
game.
That's not a bad way to learn about episodes 1 through 3.
That and then
it's better than watching
Lego Star Wars, the complete saga, also very good.
All the Lego video games are, for some reason, just so good.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. No, I get it. They do a really great job of telling the story without any words and being fun and original all on their own. Very weird. Very weird that Lego figured that one out. But my recent impressions on the plane ride back from Florida, which is where I watched this, There will be. I don't know if there will ever be another thing that has the kind of like grand scale and spectacle that Star Wars was able to put out for what it was worth.
Yeah, at the time, nothing like that had ever been seen before.
Crazy the things that they pulled off with the ships and space in general, and a lot of the set pieces.
I imagine it was similar to like visually watching like The Matrix for the first time.
Probably, yeah.
In the mid '90s or whenever it came out.
Mm-hmm.
It was just nothing like that had been seen before, visually, and they pioneered a lot of techniques in that movie, and it's been copied a million times everywhere ever since. Like the Shrek movie, they copied the bullet time.
Yeah.
So,
that being said, with how amazing the spectacle of everything is, I cannot name a movie that does not hold up as poorly as Star Wars does.
oh, it's gonna be that kind of review.
It's gonna be that kind of review.
All right.
Don't get me wrong. I love me a Star Wars.
You know what, we have unplanned themes when we do two movies.
Yeah, we do.
And the unplanned theme of this set of movies is that I like it and you don't.
Yeah, that's true. But no, I like the movie. I don't think that the story holds up. I don't think that the characters feel like they actually exist as like a character outside of the story. And I think that all of the themes and all of the plot devices are so surface level that like it's laughable for the time. Again, the spectacle, the world building, fucking amazing. George Lucas was cooking on something there.
I'm curious about something real quick.
Go ahead.
Have you seen Spaceballs?
Yeah.
So is that when you're watching A New Hope, is that what it looks like to you?
No, Spaceballs was trying too hard. I honest to God, I believe that the problem is that George Lucas is just a bad writer.
Yeah, he's not very deep.
I think that he's got a phenomenal like
vision.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's exactly like everything that he has is like he knows the world that he was doing things in, and he needed to humble out and have somebody else help him write.
Things get lost in translation from here to the page.
Right. Yeah. What he wanted to do was he wanted to create these really awesome, very individual like I'll give you a really solid example. Leia. He wanted to build a very strong, very independent woman who for some reason continued to needed to be saved, and was the only topic of conversation for the men was about how much they want to be with her.
Old habits die hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah. and
the tropes of the damsel in distress, they die hard.
Yeah, and my point being is that what he wanted to do made sense. And the way he did it was he went, hey, you know, it'd be really cool is if we had every other woman in media, but she can shoot a gun. And that's what we got with Leia. Another example, Han Solo is supposed to be the coolest, most suave, most like charismatic person in the entire movie. He's supposed to not care at all. Supposed to play it cool the entire time.
So much though.
He does care so much, but like secretly. And what do charismatic men do when they want a woman? Be really rapey about it.
Yeah.
Be very, oh, you're just playing hard to get because you know you love me. Yeah, bet you won't come kiss me with those lips. Was his entire vibe.
Bet you won't.
Bet you won't.
Bet you won't.
And that was his entire vibe, and it killed it. And I remember, and I said this to Sybil after watching it, and I said, I now know exactly why Harrison Ford refuses to talk about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's because that character was so not good. Like, so, as of right now, Han Solo would absolutely get canceled for the way that he acts.
Yeah. Do you think that oh my gosh, Indiana Jones is a better version of a suave guy?
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. James Bond is even a much better, like, and James Bond is still very rapey, but James Bond is still a better charismatic, suave, cool dude.
Yeah, that's true. When you put it through the lens of like, these are very much male ego and fantasy type.
Yeah, what he wanted to
Especially
do,
James Bond,
what he wanted to do with Han Solo was to make a really cool, like, extremely likable rogue, and what he did was he made a pick-me boy.
Yeah, but I think it kind of, in some ways, it's iconic. He's the stubborn a-hole.
Yeah, those parts are totally fine.
Yeah,
I think those are great.
I think
it's just the parts, like it, and it's any time that Luke and Leia or he and Leia are in a scene, it's immediately not about what's happening. It's just about like, yeah, sweet cheeks. Whatever you're saying is really cool, but it'd be cooler if you were sitting on my lap. And that's the vibe I get.
Would it be cooler though?
No, no, it wouldn't.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be cooler.
Of course. That's what
she's tried to take down an entire evil empire, and they're being weird sexist dudes. Which again, there is a time and place in movies to do that for specific characters.
For one of them, it was weird incestuous dudes.
Well, it's in the other movies, once he figures that out, he gets very weirded out by it.
As you
should. But yeah, and Leia doesn't do things that I will speak for women, and I'll get corrected immediately if I'm wrong. Leia does things that women wouldn't do in those situations.
Yeah.
Like, look at the guy and go, no, I don't like you. I like this guy instead.
I would say that it's possible that that's happened in the history of the world, but usually like in the, I don't know, elementary school age.
Yeah.
Where that happens. Yeah. Not as an adult.
Yeah, that's Star Toddlers.
Yeah.
It's just Star Wars.
Oh, that's never mind. I was thinking about, was it Boss Babies? Is that the
Boss? Yeah, Boss Babies.
But I couldn't make put in the comments the Star Wars connection. The Star Wars.
To Star Babies.
Star Babies sounds weird. I don't think that's
fair enough. Brats babies. Ew. So that's most of my thing. I think that the story could have been like moved around better to where instead of it being like, we got this secret message. It's for these droids. These droids find Luke. Oh, Luke, you gotta find Obi-Wan. Who's Obi-Wan? Oh, you talking about old Ben? He's over there. He's a weird guy. Ben, look, you got a message. Oh my God, that's Leia. We have to go find her. How are we gonna do that? I'm already going into the whole story. It's instead of going like beat by beat to doing things, because they're just doing things.
Yeah,
it could have been set up a little bit better, and things could have been a little more like intricately involved and planned purposefully. And this is where I say that George Lucas should have hired somebody else who did character writing better and could help him plot things out better to make the story so much better, so much cooler.
Dude, I'm getting flashbacks to watching like behind the scenes stuff for episodes 1 through 3, and people trying to be like, "Well, is that a good idea?" And he's like,
"Yeah,
like, well, that's how I want to do it."
So I talked to Greg about this because Greg is my resident Star Wars expert, and Greg said that he completely agrees that they don't hold up in the story-wise.
Greg was actually in one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah,
referred to Long Game.
The Long Game
review.
Yeah,
and you could see Greg's face and hear his voice.
Yeah, as I do often.
His voice is always playing in his head.
Yeah, it's always happening. He tried to call me earlier too. I didn't answer. Sorry, Greg. But he said that what I'm feeling about the original trilogy is because George Lucas kind of understood that he wasn't a great writer, and so...
But he's too proud to admit it.
So he got his wife at the time to help him proofread, to help make the characters feel more like people. And then the original the prequels got made. Then the prequels got made. They got divorced.
Before or after?
Before.
Oh.
And that's why we ended up with the prequels, which were not just these people don't make sense. It's these people don't make sense, and they're not their characters.
So what you're saying, your perspective is
his wife helped a lot.
The original trilogy was bad, but could have been worse.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that is bad. It just doesn't hold up.
Yeah. Here's what I want to make. Yes, I can agree with you on that. I can concede that point. Here's what I'd say, because there's a lot of things that are of their time. A lot of really bad things that they just don't age well. I mean, some would say that like movies like Tropic Thunder would not play well today.
It didn't play well when it came out either.
Oh,
that was kind of the point of it.
I thought it was hilarious. I like that kind of stupid kind of humor.
Yeah.
I think it's a cult classic, and and it's one of those things of its time. There's a lot of stuff. Shoot, I can't remember the movie right now, but there's quite a few movies that you're just like, ooh, like a lot of the I don't know, just like gay jokes back in the day.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It hasn't aged well.
I know what you mean.
So that makes sense that a lot of the tropes that he was trying to avoid, he still walked right into them directly.
Yep.
With some of the stuff like. Yep. I guess that the idea of a manly man is an a-hole who is just arrogant and thinks all the girls want him.
Yeah. Whereas you could have made like a really cool kind of like anti-hero role model kind of guy, because that's what he is.
But they didn't think about that kind of stuff back then. They didn't even have therapy.
Well, George Lucas didn't think about that period, apparently. Yeah, he just went, you know what I want? I want a guy that I want to be, and that's not the guy you want to be.
Guys didn't have feelings back then. They were repressed, and the feelings were beaten out of them by their drunk fathers.
Can confirm.
So I guess what I would say from my perspective, I enjoy it, watching it as a young person in the time that I watched it.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you. There's a lot of stuff that hasn't aged well, and rightly so.
Yeah. Great. So we got to do this thing. We're doing it now. It's done. Next thing now.
Like they're checking off a list.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like George Lucas had a list of things that needed to happen in the movie, and he went, great, next scene. And it's crazy because I feel like the first couple of scenes drag on way too long. The whole thing, and I'll get to it as we get through it.
Well, let me just interject, as I usually do a lot in these reviews.
Title card: The Dead Speak. No.
But this is a great point to movies like that Quentin Tarantino does, that I've noticed, is even in TV shows, a lot of movies, they literally go from scene to scene.
Yeah.
That people, they have some banter, and then it cuts to the next day. But Quentin Tarantino, like, his people actually talk to each other like real people. Mm-hmm. They have real, even if they're talking about nothing, like in Pulp Fiction, like him and Sparta, they talk about nothing. Mm-hmm. But it feels real. It feels actually... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's all of his movies. It doesn't just go from scene to scene. It feels like a natural progression of real life.
A thing that QT does, Quentin Tarantino,
as he's affectionately known.
Yeah, a thing that QT does really well, and I think that like opened up a lot of people's eyes to things, is that a lot of writers have always been told that like if the dialogue is not pertinent to the story, then it's not good dialogue.
Yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino, quite literally, like in Pulp Fiction, they're sitting in the car talking about McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Iconic scenes.
So casually. And the reason why that's so cool, like from like a scene, is because they're having a really casual, mundane conversation with a dead body in the car.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, oh, this is, what the fuck? What did they do if that's just a casual thing, you know? So that's a part of that.
But it feels natural. It's weird to the layperson who like probably
you'd be freaking out,
person, but because that's what they do.
And guess what?
They're just living their lives.
It's
another Tuesday.
It makes it pertinent to the story because immediately you go, these guys do this a lot.
It tells you so much about their characters
without having to say anything.
Yep.
They didn't go, man, another dead body in the car. That's crazy.
Yeah, they don't talk about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's a free writing lesson for you guys if y'all like writing. You don't have to have your characters talk about the story. You can have your characters talk about whatever, and it helps. And as long as it helps you understand the characters, it helps you understand the story.
Yeah, exactly.
So George,
That's the whole idea of showing and not telling.
that exactly
Which
is the idea of
best
show don't
stories.
tell. Yeah. What are you taking pictures of me for? What's going on?
She wants to show somebody something later, not tell them.
Oh, that's smart. Smart idea. That's my wife.
No context.
Smart wife. Title card, Star Wars, Episode 4, New Hope. Episode 4, that's crazy. I didn't know there were 3 other ones.
Well, at the time, there were not.
Something going on about the Republic and the Empire and blah, 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 blah. You're on a big ship. Robots.
This is America. This is America. So Republic good, Empire bad.
Yeah, Republic good, Empire bad. That's how that works. You're on a ship. Doors open. Bang. Shoot. Bah, 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 bah. They're fighting. A bunch of dudes die, but some dudes in white suits don't, because this is a metaphor for Nazis and the KKK all at once. Did you know that? Were you aware of that? The Empire was supposed to be like everything that was bad.
I mean, I guess when you get into episode 6, 7, and 8, they're basically like Nazis, space Nazis. So
yeah.
Makes sense. I didn't know that, but it makes sense.
Yeah. That's the point. Yeah, I guess the new trilogy really hammered in the these are Nazis point.
Yeah.
Like really hard.
Yeah.
They quite literally have them lined up in front of massive flags.
Swastikas. No,
Yeah. They had to cut that out for Disney, but that's what it was. Who's on the ship? It's Darth Vader. Who's that? I don't know, man.
But he sounds like James Earl
but
Jones.
he's really cool looking.
Yeah.
And has a really cool voice, and he's looking for something.
Can we talk about the good stuff too?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the good stuff?
That they introduced the bad guy, and he's actually kind of like really menacing. Not the original voice actor, but with James Earl Jones's voice, he's actually menacing, and they show that right off. I think that's good to establish that your bad character is really strong and menacing. I think they did that.
That's fine. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I like Darth Vader.
Literally, you're going to get to it, but in a few scenes later, he force chokes at a guy in a meeting.
I wish he'd force choke me.
Because he's making fun of... Yeah, well, don't we all?
What's he looking for? Information. Information from who? From Princess Leia. Who's she? I don't know. She gets kidnapped. We'll figure out who she is later. But before she gets kidnapped, there's these 2 droids, C-3PO and R2-D2. C-3PO is kind of an uppity bitch, and R2-D2 is like your best friend from high school.
He's like the British servant butler type.
Yeah, that speaks every language.
R2-D2's the quirky little side character.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we love
The
R2-D2.
comedic relief.
R2-D2 is there to basically move the plot along all the time. Never not to do that.
The movies literally rest on the shoulders of R2-D2.
Yeah, quite literally.
And even some of the newer ones.
Yeah. So they get into C-3PO and R2-D2 get into an escape pod and boom, back to...
Actually, I never really thought about that, what I just said, R2-D2, but it really is. Because like he's the one that goes to...
Yeah.
To
he does all of it.
Yeah, shoot.
So they get shot down onto the planet that I don't remember the name of. Go ahead, get mad at me again in the comments. It's where Luke is. What's the name of it? Okay, great. So I'm not alone right now.
Yeah.
When you're in front of a camera, you forget things. I just want everyone to know. It's a common phenomenon. If you've never been in front of a camera, you don't know. Put yourself in front of a camera and try to remember important things. I dare you, losers. Anyways. So R2-D2 and C-3PO are in a bunch of sand, and they don't know where they are, but R2-D2 has to find something. There it is, Tatooine. Thank you, Jarvis.
Yep. My brain, it took a little bit.
Tatooine.
I got there.
Yeah. I got one of those the other day.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
Yeah, it's a little guy.
Yeah.
You guys can't see it, but Jarvis can. It's a little Charmander.
I need to get some more Tatooines.
Yeah, we'll work on it. That was a $10. No, it was a $20 one from Friday the 13th.
Nice.
So
droids are on Tatooine now.
Yeah, and then they get picked up by Jawas, who are scavengers that like to resell robots that they steal. Yeah, basically. So they sell C-3PO
they're like nomadic pawn shops.
Yes, nomadic pawn shops. We called those thieves, but
yeah. That all pawn shops would like to not be referred to as thieves, but
yeah. Well, depending on where they got the stuff, we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
It's Uncle.
Hey, if the shoe fits,
What's Luke's uncle's name? I want to say Uncle Ben.
No,
I don't think that's right.
No, it's not.
That's Spider-Man.
Yes, that's Spider-Man.
So Uncle Ben buys C-3PO. It doesn't matter. He doesn't live long anyway. And C-3PO goes, hey, if you need another droid, R2-D2 is pretty cool, and I've worked with him before. And they go, no. And then the other droid that they bought explodes, and he goes... And so they buy R2-D2. And then Luke goes to go fix up R2-D2 and C-3PO and finds the message. It's Leia, a beautiful woman in a hologram, saying, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're my only hope. And he goes, whoa, that's crazy. I don't know it, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
you know what's funny? Is that that's accurate to a lot of guys these days?
Yeah.
Is that the women they're attracted to are just on a screen?
Yep. Yep. Hey, me too. So Luke goes back to his uncle and his aunt and is like, yeah, it's crazy. This one droid had a message on it for an Obi-Wan Kenobi. In Peru, yes.
But
and the uncle dies in 5 minutes. That's his new name. And he says, yeah, there's a message on the droid for an Obi-Wan Kenobi. Do you think it has anything to do with like old Ben Kenobi? And they went, don't you go talk to that crazy old man. I swear to God, he'll put frogs in your ears. I don't know.
Yeah, there were
some weird stuff. They're very scared of
subtle about.
They called him an old wizard, which I thought was nice. I would love to be called an old wizard one day.
They were very subtle about.
Yeah, very subtle about that. He shouldn't go talk to him.
Well,
you shouldn't go. You shouldn't go over there. No, please don't go talk to him. It was pretty much like that. And so what does Luke do but take the droid to Ben Kenobi?
Classic Luke Skywalker.
And he goes, hey, Ben, do you know an Obi-Wan Kenobi? And he goes, oh, man, I haven't heard that name in a long time. And he goes, is he dead? He's like, he's right here, baby. You're looking at him.
He literally pulls off the mask and it's his same face.
And it's him, but it's Liam Neeson.
I'll show you Ben Kenobi. He pulls off and it's just he was wearing an Alec Guinness, what is his name, his mask.
Yep, there you go.
He was wearing a mask of his own face.
Man, I'm going to botch this next part just a little bit. Ben...
You're
Obi-Wan,
your character that upsets the Star Wars fans.
That's true. Ben, Obi-Wan, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to call him Ben. It's a more normal name. People recognize it better. So Ben Shapiro.
I call him Benny. I call him Benny Kenny.
Benny and the Jets. The Jets are the droids. So Benny and the Jets have to go find Princess Leia. He, for some reason, knows exactly where to find her. Said he's going to be on Vader's ship. We got to find someone.
Well, we found out in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on...
Oh, that's
Disney
cool.
Plus,
I didn't know that.
why he knows Leia.
Oh, okay, good.
They went on adventures when she was a wee little...
It also kind of made sense later in the series, too, because it's like, he knows. He definitely very much knows. He probably set up the whole thing. Let's be real. Yeah. That one's alluded to. And so they go, yeah, we got to get off of this fucking rock and go find some fun adventures to go on. You want to learn about my religion?
So the old man kidnaps a boy
and inducts him into the cult of the Jedi.
How old is he supposed to be?
I don't know. I think he's probably like 16.
That's not weird at all.
No.
Come join me in space, young one.
And he goes, well, I can't. I got to go home to deal with the desert crops. Because somebody has to. And then he shows up back to his house. His aunt and uncle are dead.
Conveniently.
Who did it? It was Darth Vader. He showed up and just killed him because he was looking for the droids. I don't know if... Did Vader actually kill them himself? Or I think he sent people for it.
Yeah.
So Luke goes, well, guess I'm going with this guy.
You could say that he was the puppet master behind it.
Yeah. There you go. The puppet master. So they go to a bar because that's where you find all the best free rides, and talk to some handsome looking dude who could probably put on a really nice hat and crack a whip real well, and his big furry friend. Big friend who's a furry.
I bet you he's really good at finding stuff that's hard to find, too.
He's probably very good. Things that belong in museums. And he goes, yeah, I could get you there, but it's going to cost you, I don't remember, 10,000 credits. And Luke goes, 10,000 credits? That's so much. And Ben goes, make it 20 and you got yourself a deal.
He really
did.
He's always been. Yeah, I know. I watched it recently. I remember he's so good at haggling.
He's so good at haggling. That is what happened. I know you're laughing. There's a little more context to it, but that is what happened. And Han goes, yeah, sure. Let's go pack some bags. I'll meet you there in 20.
He literally said, you drive a hard bargain.
Yeah, drive a hard bargain, but I'm just going to have to take you up on it. And then Han shoots Greedo. He shot first. That was pretty evident.
Yeah, that's not a debate.
No, there's no reason. There's a bounty hunter looking for Han Solo, just so you know, because he owes Jabba the Hutt a lot of money. And Greedo was sent to go get Han, but Han killed Greedo. It comes back to bite him in the butt in like 20 minutes. Don't worry, because there's just a checklist of things that has to happen in this movie.
Yeah, we're going through them. We're going down the checklist.
So they get on the Millennium Falcon, coolest ship to ever exist.
Which
continues to be the coolest ship.
Everybody except for Han Solo and the fans, think it's Apollo junk.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
They literally made fun of him.
Yeah,
like when she first saw the ship, she's like, "Oh wow, you're brave to."
We were in the ship recently,
and it was
very cool.
Yeah. So
I had to tell Sybil that we were in it, and she was like, "Oh yeah." And then I texted Greg and I said, I'm in the Millennium Falcon, and he tried to FaceTime me right then and there.
Classic Greg.
Classic Greg. We also went on a Imperial Star Destroyer, but that's a different story. Very fun at Batu, just so you guys know. I highly I don't even care if you're a Star Wars fan. It's so much fun. Sybil agrees. It was like best themed, best taking care of area in the entire parks. And we did all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so they go, and I believe what happens next, it's been a few weeks, is that they go and they rescue Leia, but with a lot of hijinks and shenanigans.
Yeah, I remember Han Solo yelling at a control panel and then shooting it with a gun.
Yes, that did. So they go onto the Star Destroyer that Vader's on. They sneak in, they kill a couple of stormtroopers and take their outfits and pretend like they're arresting Chewbacca, while the droids go and figure out what's going on with Leia. They find her, and Luke goes, I'll just go grab her. And they go, Which
you shouldn't do. You shouldn't just go and grab her.
Yeah, you should never go and just grab women. Always ask for consent.
Especially when it involves their safety, even if it's a life or death situation.
Yeah.
Get consent first.
Like that one TikTok of the hairdresser that always asks the person that she's cutting their hair if it's okay to touch them first.
Yeah.
Because that one's not kind of obvious. But this is a different thing. We're saving lives here. So you always, hey, I'm here to save you. Do you want me to save you? And then if she says yes, you can rescue her.
Which you're going to do. But again, it's a different
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. George Lucas did not write it well.
Yeah.
That was a little tongue-in-cheek moment. Consent's important.
Oh, don't talk about Luke and Leia and tongues and cheeks, okay?
Woof. So because Luke has, been an adventurer and has wielded a lightsaber for all of 20 minutes, he's definitely qualified to take on an entire army of people by himself to go rescue a woman. Especially one that, let's be real, can take care of herself. She demonstrates that time and time again.
Yeah.
Oh no, I feel like I'm missing a part.
Probably.
I feel like I'm missing before all of this happened. When Leia got caught originally, Darth Vader brings her up to the Death Star in the space laser room,
you're right, that is
and says, "We have this thing that can kill a planet. We're pointing it at Alderaan, and we're going to shoot it unless you tell me where the rebel base is." Yeah, that's where she's princess.
Yeah.
And she goes, "No, I can't do that. I'll never do that." And they said, "Great, then we'll destroy the planet." And then she goes, "No, wait, I'll tell you where they are. They're That's some fucking place.
Dantooine.
Dantooine, yes. Is it really? I think it is.
Something like that.
I think it is.
Yeah, they were really good with the names back then.
Right.
Tatooine, Dantooine.
Yeah. Hoth. Later. And she goes, no, wait, it's over here. And they go, oh, okay, great, thanks. Kill the planet. Because they're evil.
And then she was like, no. And then later, when they get to Dantooine, they're like, the rebels aren't here. She lied. And they're like, and
it's like, yeah, fucking course she lied, you idiots.
And they have the audacity to be upset that she lied to
That's
them.
what I'm saying. So back to...
It's not so fun when the shoe's on the other foot, is it?
No. So back to rescuing her. They do. Han shoots some guy, and then they go, hey, there's a lot of noise going on up there. What's going on? He goes, oh, no, it's fine. It's just someone's blaster went off accidentally. Don't worry about it. And they go, what's your security code or whatever it was? And he goes, hey, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And they almost do. And also while this is all happening, Ben just kind of is walking around by himself.
Yeah.
Looking for something.
Yeah.
He doesn't say what. It's Vader. We know it's Vader.
He's making his way to his next scene.
Yeah, he's walking to his next scene,
Yeah.
which is conveniently a fight to the death with Darth Vader.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while he's trying to get to his next scene, and everybody's in a giant
and
trash
then
compactor.
the trash compactor thing happens. They're all getting crushed. They go, C-3PO, turn off all the trash compactors, and then they do.
Can I say something real quick? Luke yelling, 3PO, 3PO, was like probably the most annoying thing in the whole movie. I
agree.
I don't like that part at all.
Yeah, no, you're
3PO,
right.
where are you? 3PO.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, okay, that's all. I needed to make that point. It was very important to me. that the full-time movie fans knew that I really disliked that.
So
part.
they escape the trash compactor, and they're like, we gotta get back to the Millennium Falcon. And they start running, and then as they're running, Luke's like, wait, what about Ben? And he looks up into a rafter where he's fighting Darth Vader.
They stumble
crazy.
They stumble upon Obi-Wan in his next scene.
Yeah, and they're just duking it out with their lightsabers, which awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Classic. Iconic.
Very cool. And Ben gives a little sly look to Luke, gives him a little wink and blows him a kiss, and then just disappears as Vader doesn't cut him in half. He just disappears.
Yeah. And then Vader all of a sudden is like, good, I won. And it's just like, that's not weird to you?
Yeah.
I'm sure you've cut plenty of people with your lightsabers. What? It's like, I'm sure you've killed plenty of people with your lightsaber. How many times has that happened, bro?
Yeah. They just... No. No one ever explained it. It's just like that. The fan theory is that Ben just decided it was his time to go. You know, saying it out loud made it a lot less.
I mean, Luke. Hey,
Did you imagine? Yeah, I'm ready to die.
If only,
Go on,
dude. If that were the case,
crazy.
If it were that easy, I probably would have disappeared a long time ago.
Look, the high schools would be empty.
Yeah, dude. You know what? But Luke also did that. Luke also did that.
That is true. He did also do that.
But he was also like projecting himself.
But we saw him
Millions of miles
disappear.
away.
We saw him disappear.
That's true.
It
That's
didn't
true.
just like
I mean, we saw
he like
Obi-Wan disappear, but it was a lot more abrupt.
yeah.
He didn't fade away slowly, cinematically. He just kind of just disappeared.
So anyway, they get off the planet and meet up with the rebels.
Dude, what if Obi-Wan was actually force projecting himself the whole time, and he was literally just like
He's
in
just
his living
back
room
on
watching
Tatooine.
just watching TV or something?
Crazy to do.
That's
New
that's a new
headcanon.
theory.
Absolutely. He's still there.
Yeah, and that's hey, he stuck a little like earpiece somewhere on him.
Yeah.
And that's when he says, "Use the Force." Like it's literally just
He's sitting there playing Fortnite on his
little-
TV, and he goes, "Oh, Luke's having some problems. Use the Force, Luke."
it's literally
Hey guys, I downed 3 and tilted.
it's literally a radio device. That'd be so funny, right?
It would be very.
Use the Force, Luke.
So they meet up with the rebels, and Leia goes, "Hey Han, you're a really good pilot. You should fight with us and the rebels." And he goes, "Sorry, sweetheart. Unless you confess your love for me right now, I'm leaving." Which is exactly almost exactly how it's said.
Verbatim.
Yeah. And this is where Leia goes, if I like you so much, explain this, and then kisses Luke.
Yeah, see, that's really her fault.
That one is, I will say that one is her fault.
Yeah. That
She did do that
uncalled for and out of pocket.
And so Han leaves anyway because he's got to go deal with a big old slug man who has a bounty on his head.
Yeah.
And so he pretty much disappears for a good chunk of the movie.
Yeah, whenever someone disappears, they're just walking their way to their next scene.
Yeah. Well, actually, Han went to his trailer for a 40-minute break before he shows up for the third act to back everybody up in the fight on the Death Star.
He took a stop at craft services.
Yeah. And so we get a lot of exposition about how the rebels are going to fight and how they have already found a weak point in this massive, massive construct of the Death Star. It's a small air vent. It was the size of a blaster.
It was in the plans that R2-D2 had.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because R2-D2 got the plans. That's right. Thank you.
Yeah. You know how I know that? Because of The Force Awakens. Literally copied the exact same thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. That is correct. Because The Force Awakens is just A New Hope, but with different characters.
Yeah.
Which makes it an okay movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. With less, I guess, rapey vibes, I guess.
Slightly better then.
Yeah.
Except the vibes are that they're trying to get basically they're trying to get Luke and Darth Vader to kiss. Whoa. We got to talk later. That's not okay. She said, I'm into it. And then Luke goes, no, I could take care of that. I'm a really good pilot. Because he was in like
the family.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, true.
Genetic.
Yeah, spoilers. If you guys don't know this by now, also you're watching this, you're a Star Wars fan. What? Darth Vader is Luke's father. His name is quite literally, and thank you, Pitch Perfect. Thank you, Anna Kendrick. His name is literally Darth Father. Vader is the German word for father.
Nice.
Yeah, and Darth is dark, so it's Dark Father.
I had a very not dark father.
Same. So I mean, I'm lingering on this a lot. It's happening a lot. Han shows back up while they're all fighting. Goes, haha! I see. I told you that I am a good guy who wants to kiss me. It's probably Leia. And then Luke loses his auto targeting on the little hole, and he's the only one left. And Darth Vader's chasing directly after him, or no, he was chasing directly after him, or whatever.
There's a few people that try to blow up the thing. They can't do it because skill issues.
And they go, we gotta get out. All of our auto firing's down. And Luke goes, no, I can do it. And then Ben from the great beyond goes
from his living room.
Yeah, from his living room into the earpiece goes, use the Force, Luke. And Luke literally goes, pew, and gets it because all you need, and hey, this is the moral of the story.
Yeah.
All you need is faith and belief in God.
Is that?
Well, because the Jedi are a religion.
Yeah, and the Force is God.
And the Force is like the Holy Spirit in this sense, I guess.
Oh, okay.
You feel me?
Yeah. The Holy Spirit guided the missiles where they needed to be.
Yeah. Because the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit cares about mortal conflict.
He's literally the OG homing.
Yeah. That and Luke's midichlorians are off the charts. But we don't learn about those until
my midichlorian levels are so low right now. I went to the doctor and they're low.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I know.
You taking supplements?
No, I don't qualify.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's bad news for me.
So everyone goes, wow, Luke, you're a hero. And then they all get medals.
Except for
Chewbacca?
Yeah.
Yeah, Chewbacca doesn't get a medal.
People were upset about that.
Yeah.
Which is another dumb thing that they tried to fix in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, they gave him one in The Rise of Skywalker.
How dumb The Rise of Skywalker is, because nobody cared about that.
Yeah. So that's it. That's the whole story. And again, a lot going on. Very cool in scope of things. And if played better, would have been just like, it was already like a 7 out of 10, which is really good.
Yeah.
And for the time, it was probably like an 8.5, 9 out of 10.
I think most people in the time frame would say that it was a 10 out of 10.
It would have been
'Cause
for
they've never
me.
seen anything
For me, it would have been a 10 out of 10, and would have held up as a 10 out of 10
Oh, for sure.
if they had.
if we grew up in that
yeah.
time. If we were...
Oh no, if the
we were
writing had been
if
changed.
If it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
A lot different, then it would have been 10 out of 10.
Yeah, let the characters be themselves. Let them breathe. That's what I have to say.
Nice.
So we were talking about the fact that there are no bras in space beforehand. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Classic George. Curious George, I like to call him.
I like when movies let things be what they need to be. And what I mean by that is not like having the creator of the movie just like insert themselves and their desires into things. Because things should be able to live and speak and breathe on their own without somebody's ego coming in and going, yeah, Carrie Fisher, you don't need a bra. There's no bras in space. But we are going to put you in a bikini for the third movie.
Yeah, that was definitely him using his manpower to ogle women.
Yeah, not cool.
No. But
women are your friend.
Well, we did talk about this. We did. I don't
not
know.
Your objects.
We did talk about this off camera, or maybe it was on camera. I don't know. I'll have to, when it comes out, I'll rewatch it. Where we talked about George Lucas just he's got a great vision and ideas, but his execution is
very lackluster. Yeah, very lackluster.
So
I think that if he could have found a really, really good writing friend, like Steven Spielberg has. Yeah.
Or he could have been he needed a Daniel to his Daniel, like the Daniels did with him. They collaborate together, they work together. He needed somebody like that.
So you want to talk about cool things about this movie?
I thought we just did. I thought we've been spending
about the no bras in space. You thought that was it? So
I wouldn't wear any bras in space.
It's true, same. So what you were talking about earlier about how everything was practical effects, what that means is that there was no computer inserted imagery in all of this. This is all shot on film.
Until they tried
developed
to
on film.
They remastered it and messed it all up.
Yeah,
a bunch of clutter,
which is not great.
I think when the technology came to be, George Lucas went a little crazy with it in episodes 1 through 3.
Yeah, because it helped reach the vision, I guess. But they
were
already doing that, and it was cool.
It made it feel cold.
They did it regularly.
Lifeless.
Yeah, and Jar Jar Binks existed, which probably shouldn't have happened.
Oh, long time ago, in a galaxy far away.
So all of the visuals were done with the help of a company that was created called Industrial Light and Magic (ILM), which included the works of people like Adam Savage of Mythbusters fame.
Yeah.
He worked at ILM. Not specifically on Star Wars, I don't believe, but he worked on a bunch of other stuff. And the ships that were made using a technique called kit bashing, where they would get like Gundam models or like, you know what I'm talking about? Like those
model airplane plastic.
Yeah. And they would just take random parts and they just put them together, spray paint them, and make them look weathered so they look like they were used. And that's how they made the ships. The explosions were actual small-scale explosions.
Yep. On miniatures, yep.
On miniatures. And, yeah, it's really cool. The sets, like you said, were a lot of painted backdrops and then practical sets.
Yeah, I would... as iconic as the movie is, I might, and this might be controversial, the behind the scenes is a little bit more interesting.
Hey.
The making of the movie.
Welcome. He's made it.
Especially for Star Wars, because it's so cool to go back in time and see how they kind of made what we see and how the creative ways they came up with to get the effects that they wanted without having the things that we have now.
Do you remember how the lightsabers were made?
Weren't they just plastic things that, I don't know.
They were for the prequels.
Yeah.
For the originals, they just had hilts like this. And in post, somebody had to hand paint every frame with the lightsabers in it.
That's crazy.
It's really cool. That's what we mean by practical. Practical doesn't always mean like it happened in real life. It just means that there weren't computer-generated effects.
Yeah, everything was done manually.
Yeah, it's like they saw it at some point in some form.
Yeah.
And it got captured onto the film.
Yeah.
Which, as I guess you could say, like at that point, if they're painting in frames, that it's sort of animation too.
I imagine that those visuals were kind of like the first time Toy Story came out. Everybody was losing their minds.
Yeah, definitely.
I literally saw a video the other day of someone interviewing for like one of those news people. PlayStation 2 was coming out, and they were like, the graphics, dude, like from 5 feet away, it just looks like realistic. And they cut to a graphic of it,
and you're like, there's no way.
They're all blocky and
the dog, yeah. It's Toy Story itself ages really, really well, especially in the visuals.
Yeah. Until
you get to see the kids. Until a person shows up and you're like, oh, that's terrifying. So Jarvis, we're coming up on that time, and I want to know, do you want me to go first on my rating? I usually make you go first.
Yeah, you go first this time.
Own it. Surprisingly, you should own it. It's a piece of history. Yeah, it is a piece of not just like pop culture history, but film history, because that movie progressed forward like visual effects and to a point CGI so far ahead of where it would have been, just because they kept on going, well, how do we make this look more realistic?
I imagine a lot of filmmakers in that era that watched it were like, how the hell did they do that?
And
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely one of those they're watching and they're like, man, I wonder how they did that. And then they hear like, oh, it was miniatures on a backdrop, and they go, that's so fucking cool.
Why didn't we think about
why didn't I know about this? Of course you could just shoot miniatures. Of course. Yeah. And it's super cool. So yeah, I say own it. I don't, but that's because the DVDs are stupid expensive still.
Yeah. But I agree. Own it and rewatch it many times. Watch the behind the scenes stuff for sure.
But be realistic about it, okay? This isn't the best movie to ever exist. These aren't the best movies to ever exist. They're good. They do not hold up. I dare say here it is. You ready? You ready for the downvotes?
Okay. Yeah.
I dare say
the downvotes.
I dare say The Force Awakens was a better version of A New Hope. I dare say it.
Okay.
I'll watch it again.
I don't know.
It's not new. The Force Awakens is not new.
Yeah.
It doesn't hold the same like weight that A New Hope does because it's not new.
Yeah.
Because A New Hope did everything
it loses lots
originally.
Of points for being a copy and paste.
Right. But Disney does remakes a lot, and I feel like that might have been one of the better ones.
I mean, the visuals alone make it a lot more nice to watch.
Yeah. I'm not saying J.J. Abrams did good with Star Wars. I would never say that, actually. I don't think, gun to my head.
You won't hear that on Full-Time Movie Fans coming out of our mouths.
Yeah, gun to my head. I will pull it. I'm not saying it.
So until we get big enough and somebody deep fakes us saying it.
I mean, I could do that right now. I can deep fake myself saying it right now.
Don't say that.
Yeah, own the movie. That's it.
Yep. Get a lightsaber.
Yeah, go to Batu. Go to Galaxy's Edge. I had a great time at Walt Disney World's in Florida, Galaxy Edge, and riding Smuggler's Run, Millennium Falcon. I'm saying it wrong, but that was my point. Is that whenever people do promotion for it, they're obviously getting paid for it because they say the names.
Yeah. Are you getting paid for it?
No, I am not.
Yeah. So, A New Hope. Do we have a new hope that Disney can make good Star Wars content?
No.
Yeah, agreed. They are just ringing this for all it's worth, this franchise.
And I happily paid hundreds of dollars for it.
They still get you.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
It is cool.
There's a little barbecue place, and there's a robot that just sits there and roasts and turns the thing that roasts the meats. And every once in a while he'll go, turn, turn, turn. That's all I do. And you go, yeah, this is great. That is all he does.
Review. That's all we do.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
Well, all right, guys. It's that time. Full-time movie fans reviewed A New Home. Get laser sorted. Also, like and subscribe. Feel free to do that. I don't know if we've actually asked them to do that recently. Have we?
Do it right now, or
I
else.
think you should ask them. I just asked them right now.
I'm not going to ask you. I'm telling you, like and subscribe.
Yeah, dude. We enjoy doing this. We want to continue to do this, and hopefully you enjoyed hanging out with us. I'm.
Look at my $300 toy. Look at it.
$300. That's what $300 looks like, folks.
That is.
You know what's a lot.
If
cheaper?
you count the crystals, it's more like 500. But we're not going to talk about that.
You know what's a lot cheaper than a lightsaber from Disney? A like and subscribe. It's super cheap.
But the lightsaber's really cool. So.
I agree.
And the droid is also really cool. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole trip.
It's one of my favorite parts of your trip as well.
Thank you. His name's Scrap.
Speaking of Scrap, this is the end of the review.
Bye.
We hope your day's everything you dreamed to be and more. Catch you in the next one.
Hey, full-time MFers. You like this video? 'Cause we sure did. If you liked it, maybe you should share it with your friends. Maybe like the video and subscribe.
If we were you, that's what we would do. If I was watching this,
I'd be all over that.
Like, and I'd hit that share, and then I would hit that subscribe in that order.
Yeah. There's also another video that's popped up. YouTube thinks you like this one, so you should watch that one now.
See you next time.